no idea. Can you hear me? Do I have sound? I have no idea what's going on with my audio at this particular moment. But hi, everybody. So, yeah. So, what happened was Allison had a really rough weekend. Yay, sound. My acid reflux and allergies and everything combined to make it a really pukey weekend for me, which was not fun. And then I had to come to work today, and I was not doing well. So then I decided to go take a cat nap in my car. And guess what? I'm really bad at cat naps in like the vernacular sense. Like, I'm actually really good at napping like a cat, where I just fall asleep and am oblivious to everything for like 3 hours. But the technical, like the cat nap of like 15-20 minutes, yeah, I suck at that. And I know I suck at that, but I was feeling so bad, I felt the need to give it a try. Got multiple texts from my staff asking if I was alive, or if I had been killed in the parking lot of the Presbyterian church, which I was not, by the way. Very safe Presbyterian church, and I had promised to bring back food as my penance for deserting everybody to go take a cat nap in my car, which I did. But apparently McDonald's takes longer than you think. So here I am. Also, I've eaten. I have a tendency not to eat my feelings. I have a tendency to starve my feelings. So I've been starving my feelings for like 4 days. So I just wolfed down like 3 chicken McNuggets and an entire sundae from McDonald's, and I am not at all sorry about either of those decisions. So, what are we doing today? It's Spoopy Week, y'all! It's Spoopy Week. Yes, it's Halloween week. So we are doing today the Wire Skeleton pendant, charm, whatever you want. You can scale this little dude up or down, however you want. And I'm gonna pop an image of him up on the screen because I forgot the sample at home. Because apparently I'm still really not great at being an adult, but you know, you live, you learn. That's really, really large. Wow. That is a giant skeleton. That's like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man of skeletons. So, come on, shrinky, shrinky. Oh, God, that just sucks, Julie. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. 8 a.m. should be a time of choice, not a time of requirement ever, in my opinion, because it's the worst time. The only time worse than 8 is 7. So, this is what we're doing tonight. He is cute. He's cute. He's fun. We could give him a little name. I have not named him, but if you want to name him, we can have a naming contest for our little skeleton. Also, by the way, Spoopy podcast tonight with Heather and I. So if anybody has spoopy topics that you want us to talk about, some that were proposed were favorite Halloween costumes, supernatural, Vincent. Ooh, okay, I like Vincent. Vincent's a good one. Does anyone have any other votes for? Is anyone else even on at the moment? Because my viewer count only says 1. Is it just you and I, Julie? I'm assuming it's you and I and Lori. So yeah, it's putting calories and sugar back into my bloodstream. Yeah. Oh, Stanley. Yes. Luckily, there were no cats here when I had my sundae, so I did not have to share, and I got one for each of the staff, so I didn't have to share with them either, because everyone had their own. So, this is actually a pretty quick project, so we should be able to get through it in not too much time. But yeah, anybody, because Heather and I are so on it. Spoopy podcast topics. So hit me up either on Discord or in the chat with what you want us to talk about tonight. My Halloween. Ooh, so I made, Lori, bourbon vanilla ice cream over the weekend, like with real bourbon and real Mexican vanilla, and it was so good. And it was like the most expensivest ice cream ever because it took 8 egg yolks and an entire pint of cream, but I regret nothing. Nothing. Also was literally the only thing I could get to stay in my stomach all weekend, so also don't regret that. But yes, pulled the ice cream maker out from the depths of the cabinet and am quite enjoying it. So there will be more homemade ice cream in the future. Ooh, I could make squid ink ice cream for Tuesday. That could be really cool. Huh. And now I'm going to be on Pinterest for 3 hours tonight looking up squid ink ice cream. Okay. So, what do we need to make this little skeleton guy? Really not a whole lot of complicated supplies. You're going to need wire. The sample's made with 20 gauge wire. This is actually 18 gauge for 2 reasons. Number 1, because that's what I grabbed. Number 2, it's going to be a little easier for y'all to see if I make him in a little bit of a bigger size. You're going to need a skull bead for the head. And you're going to need your pliers. And that's the thing that I forgot. So it's going to be a hot second. See, I'm so happy I finally have a freezer big enough that my ice cream maker insert can live in there. This is the first time in years that I've had a freezer that's big enough that I can actually just leave it in there, because, like, seriously, who plans to make ice cream a day in advance? People who are not me. BRB. Okay, have tools will travel. Oh, that's yummy, Julie. That sounds yummy. Oh, I brought everybody fried apple pies from McDonald's. I miss fried pies so much. I know. My journey of gluten-free baking is progressing. I have not gotten to fried pies yet, but man, it'd be so much easier if I could just get them at the dang drive-thru. Okay, so you're gonna need about 30 inches or so of wire to accomplish this little skeleton guy. Obviously, like I said, you can size him up, you can size him down. So if you're gonna make him bigger, like if you're gonna make him head sized, you're gonna need more than 30 inches of wire. If you're gonna make him teeny, like an earring size, then you're gonna need less than 30 inches. You probably wanna size down, maybe even down from 20 gauge to like 22 gauge if you're gonna make like an earring size. I do miss, I know, sales, sales are the, yes. I wish that my garage does not have power, which is probably a good thing because I can't have a garage freezer, but I really wish I did have a garage freezer. Because I see sales on things like whole briskets, and I'm like, oh, that'd be amazing to cook in, like, 3 weeks, but I don't, want to sacrifice the freezer space for it. So, approximately 30 inches of wire, anywhere from 18 to 22 gauge, or even bigger gauge if you're making if you want to make like a torso size skeleton, hell, if you want to make a life size skeleton, go for it. Just remember, ooh, by the way, y'all, I got new shoes and I like them. Stretchy shoes are my new official go-to because I have 2 very different sized feet, so I love my new stretchy shoes, and they also have finger hearts on the bottom, which is awesome, and they are comfy and they fit both of my feet. All of you garden people. I'm jelly. Jelly that I can't make jelly. I mean, I could. I just have to go buy fruit from the grocery store. So, let's go ahead and do some cutting. Now, I actually did the smart thing when I was doing the sample, and I measured everything as I cut it, and then guess what, y'all, I left all the measurements at home because I am awesome like that. So we're going to be winging it here on the Beading Dream stream. Everyone contain your shock and surprise that we are winging it on the Beading Dream stream. So I am going to keep my little Skelly guy up as a reference, but I'm going to change scenes and I'm going to put him in the scene with my hands because I, of course, had planned to have my notebook in front of me, and of course I don't, because once again left it at home. And so yeah, you know, we at the Beading Dreams are on the struggle bus these days, and hopefully we will get off the struggle bus soon. But you know, thanks for hanging with us during our struggle bus time. Okay, fine. I don't even care what you find it, what you call it. I just want it. Also, I made. Yes. Okay. I made too many Halloween tutorials, by the way. So Saturday's freeform is also going to be a Halloween tutorial. Okay, yeah, Julie, you need to share. Because yes, I saw the Facebook post. And I want to know how this, I mean, I think I have an idea of how this happened, but I would like to know the particulars of how this did happen. And also, did you see any spoopy things whilst you were in the cemetery? And actually, if you did, do I want to know about them? So unfortunately, I have a very overactive imagination, so that's why I don't do spoopy movies. Okay, there's that, and let's focus, which I have not been able to do all day. My staff, y'all, are freaking saints in human clothing because they have dealt with my spacey ass all day, and then they let me go take a nap in my car. Like, seriously, you could not ask for a better staff. We closed an hour ago, y'all. We're almost. So, saints among us. Saints walk among us, and they all work for me. Lucky me, thank God. So, I'm going to cut some wire for my skeleton. So, we're gonna go down the kind of anatomy of our little skelly guy, who I think Vincent was the only name that was put forward. So we're gonna go with Vincent. So we're going to start with his shoulders and his clavicle, which, and again, I'm going from memory, but I believe that it was 2.5 inches for the clavicle. Once I get home and get my notebook, I will post this on Discord, because it's a bunch of kind of random measurements, but okay, it was 2.5 inches for his clavicular region, and then the see, this is, now I'm testing my knowledge of anatomy. The humerus was 1.5 inches, so we need 2 of them because he has 2 humeri. And then the radius ulna is also 1.5 inches. Even though it appears shorter in the photo, it's because it has a bigger circle at the end of it. So the arm bits are each 1.5 inches. I swear to God, y'all, I can't talk. This past 3 weeks, my tucker is broken. So 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches. So yes, I will Fosipoto. What the hell? I will post the photo of my notebook when I get home. Oh dear, Julie, I'm sorry, but that is pretty hilarious. Okay, so 2.5, 1.5 times 4. We have a toaster oven. I know,
Yeah.
cold fries, warm ice cream. I'm sorry. The torso is going to be about 6 inches. Oh, and I'm going to need that ring stick I was gesturing with emphatically earlier. The pelvis is going to be 3 inches. Again, I'm just making these up, so if what I post on Discord is different later, it's because I am winging it again. And then we're going to do the legs, so the femur is going to be 2 inches, and then the other part of the leg that I can't remember, the shin bones connected to the thigh bone, is going to also be 2 inches once again, because we're going to do a bigger circle there. Heather, what's the shin bone? Thank you. The tibia and the fibula are combined into one in this project, and they are 2 inches long.
And I didn't know I was on call for anatomy.
Well,
I should know that.
Why would you not assume that?
That's you raise an excellent point. I don't know what I was thinking.
And then the phalanges. This skeleton person had some sort of incident happen in their childhood, so they only have 3 phalanges on each
possibly their who's
limb. Huh?
Who's have anywhere from 5 to 3,
or it could be a Gorn.
There you go.
So yeah.
Gorn skeleton.
So anyway, 3 phalanges on each appendage. So that means we need 12 phalange pieces of wire, each of which is 1/2 inch long. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those, and then we're going to take this weird sort of, witchy looking diagram, and we're going to turn it into a skeleton. So yeah. Again, it's Spoopy Week here on Beading Dreams stream. So welcome everybody. Let's see, don't forget, I'm gonna cut, hold on, I can't measure. I can't brain. Spoopy Week.
Well, the part that holds the brain is called the cranium.
Thank you. That's actually, I've got a pre-assembled one of those though. So I don't need the name of that. The name of it is Skull Bead.
Well, I tried to help.
You did help. You said tibia.
I did.
Possibly, maybe before Julie did or at the same time. So anyway, I'm cutting phalanges right now. And I'm just reminding everyone that it is Spoopy Week on Beading Dreams. I was chastised a little bit last Spoopy Week for some more gruesome tutorials, like the doll hand. So we're taking a little bit easier this week. But I did create accidentally too many tutorials. So we are going to have a Spoopy freeform on Saturday as well, with a new version of the Anne Boleyn necklace. I also have, so that is one of 2 tutorials this week that involves nail polish per Mary's request of craft projects that she can do with her awesome selection of nail polish. And when I say awesome, I literally mean inspiring of awe, because the woman has so much nail polish and it is all meticulously organized. So yes, so that's what this week is going to be. And then don't forget on son of a bitch. Excuse me, I dropped things. On Tuesday, we are having, oh my god, our Halloween party in store. So we are also going to be setting up the Zoom on my laptop so that you all can join in the Halloween party if you want to. You won't be able to have the snacks via Zoom. I mean, I can like fling them at the computer, but I don't think that they're gonna get there. So I apologize for the lack of snacks for you Zoomers. You're just gonna have to fend for yourselves. But I do want to share my first batch of butterfly pea flower skull ice cubes that are going to be part of the beverage menu on Tuesday. So zoom in for that. We will send a link out via email for that. So, okay, so everyone can you can share what snacks you made. And my poor boyfriend, my long-suffering boyfriend, the boyfriend of, ooh, what's this? Pants. I stole his iced tea pitcher to make butterfly pea flower infused water for the ice cubes. And he's like, what's up with this tea? It's blue. Like, yeah, I mean, you can drink it, but you're probably not gonna like it. At least it's not pants, right? At least it is edible, unlike the pants, which I guess are technically edible, but only if it's the depression.
Or you're a goat.
Or you're a goat. It's true. Though sometimes I wonder about Lee, because, I mean, on one hand it's good that the leftovers, because I'm not always good with leftovers, but on the other hand, sometimes you're like, I wanted that, I was planning on that, you ate my thing. Anyway, the joys of cohabitating. Okay, so let's make a skeleton. Woo! Maybe. Let's find the scene. Okay, so again, this project actually comes together pretty quickly. The most time-consuming part is cutting the wire, which we just did. So we're going to start from the top. Well, okay, that's not true. We're going to start from the neck and work our way down and put the head on last. Why? Because that's what I feel like. So we're going to start with the clavicular region. So we're going to take this piece of wire, which was 2.5 inches, and we're going to find the middle of it, and we're going to bend it around, and so make sure that you're at the middle. And we're going to bend it around to make kind of a coat hanger-like shape, like so. And then we're going to curl the ends down and around to make 2 circles. Why did I say that like that? I have no idea. All right, 2 circles. All right, I feel like I may have cut this a little long, but we're going to go with it. And then notice what I did just then was I took my kind of flattened shape that I had here, and I just sort of bent it a little bit down so that it really kind of has a coat hanger like shape, just because I want my skeleton to be, you know, nice and svelte and dapper in the shoulder area. Now we're going to go ahead and make some arms. So these are our 1.5 inch pieces of wire, and I'm just going to make a loop on each end of each of these top pieces of wire. These loops are going to be the same size. Then I'm going to make a loop on each end of these bottom pieces of wire here. This loop is going to be the same size as these loops, but the bottom loop is going to be bigger. So what that looks like is this. And now, if you look really closely at my sample skeleton, I went ahead and I centered most of the loops on his little joints. So we're going to go ahead and, I don't know if that's really necessary to do. It might just be me wasting effort, but we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. So I'm going to take my round nose pliers, and I'm going to grab the end of my wire in my round nose pliers, and I'm just going to roll it around until I've got a closed loop, like so. And then I'm just going to place my round nose at the bottom of that loop, brace with my finger, and roll it back, like so. So that I have a loop that is essentially centered over the central axis of my wire. And you may need to use your chain nose pliers to just kind of close it up. And then we do the same on the other end. Okay, so this is the humerus. So that's going to go there. And then this next one is the combined radius, ulna, carpals, and metacarpals, all in one piece of wire, y'all. Like, we're fancy here. So we're going to do one smaller loop. That's going to be the elbow joint. So there's my loop. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to center it up like so. And then to be the carpals and metacarpals, I'm going to do another loop. I'm not going to center this one because I kind of like the like little penguin look thing, and I'm going to make it bigger. So I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to go down to a larger part of my pliers, and I'm going to make him a little hand loop like so. Okay, so there we go. And once again, you can scale this down. Like this guy that I'm making tonight is a little on the big side. Like this is like drama skeleton. You know, you can do little skeleton, make an earring. You just need to scale everything down. Sorry. Now that my body's decided that it needs calories again, it really wants calories. Like really wants them. Okay. So now we're going to just make the other arm set. So this is just the other humerus. Yeah. Also, my nose is itching. Okay, so there's that. And then the other bottom arm aggregation. So again, I am centering this loop, not centering this bottom loop though. And I'm making it bigger because again, that's his little hand part. Ta-da! Okay, so now we are forming the body of the skeleton. Our fries are done. Yes, they are.
Ding, fries
She
are
heard
done.
the ding. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's do the torso next, because that's kind of where we are in this. So I'm going to enlist my trusty ring stick for the torso. So I'm going to make a loop here at the top of my 6-inch wire, and then I'm going to just wrap it around my ring stick to make a spiral. And I can kind of manipulate that. I want a little bit of a smaller spiral at the bottom to kind of symbolize the abdomen. So I'm going to take my round nose and I'm just going to wrap that inwards a bit. And then I don't want this, you know, I mean, poor guy, he's dead and everything, but I don't want him to be hanging crooked. So I'm going to put the loop in the middle of this so that when I hang it all together, it's going to be mostly centered. Now, this, hi Keiko! This is something that happened when I was making the sample that I completely forgot about, which is you've got to make this loop up here big enough, excuse me, to hold both the head and the torso, which I did not. So I need to go back while I'm thinking about it with my pliers and bend that loop larger so that I can hang both the torso and the head from that loop. Yes, things you only hear during Halloween week, ideally. And I can expand or contract this little torso spiral, you know, depending on how long I want it to be in proportion to my arms and legs. And then I do need to make a loop on the bottom of this torso so I can attach his pelvis. I mean, do we really know that Keiko, though? I mean, you never know. He could at least feel embarrassment that I am anatomically deconstructing him on the interwebs. Okay, so there's my torso piece. Now I'm going to do the pelvis, which is going to be this longer piece of wire here. And this is very similar to a pretty common wire construction known as a Picasso nose. So this poor dude has a nose on his pelvis. You know, I got nothing. So we're gonna take our pliers, our round nose pliers.
I'm saying
put him in the middle of the wire and just bend it over so that I have a decently sized U shape. And then I'm going to take these 2 pieces of wire and I'm going to curl them back into spirals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my spiral with my round nose and curl it back into a loop. And then I'm going to take my chain nose and I'm going to continue curling that up into a spiral. That's going to be his little iliac crests. I was a dance major. I did take lots of anatomy classes. Yeah, our AC at the store broke. $1,000 later, it's fixed. Luckily, I have a really good AC guy, but like, really, like, we almost made it through, but no. Nope, had to break. Okay, so there's his pelvis. It's a little small. He's a little skinny on the pelvis area, but that's okay. Alright, and then let's do some leg action with these. So this is going to work pretty much the same as the arms. So the top portion of the leg is going to have 2 equal size loops, and the bottom portion is going to have a smaller one and a larger one. My iliac still has plenty of bone. What it's missing is cartilage where it meets my sacrum. The joys of being an old dancer. Lori, it's not after 7:30 yet. Is Keiko? Okay, Keiko. That the timing of that comment was, I realized you were not responding to Lori, but that was pretty funny. Y'all, I can't trust you for a second.
No.
They are not a trustworthy crowd, Heather.
I know. That's why we like him so much.
It's true. Alright. Leggies. I mean, if I had a tiny penis charm, I would definitely hang one on here, but I do not. But that would be pretty funny.
We sold them all. All of them.
All of them. Wow, that's a little. You're like a little crooked, dude. There we go. Okay, so you can see how this is coming together. Hi, Corvus. It's Spoopy Week. Duh. So, what? No stream? Huh?
What?
No. I don't think I said no stream. I said late stream because, again, what happened was Allison went to take a cat nap, but she sucks at cat naps. And then she went to get food because I've been starving my feelings for 4 days. So, uh-oh, Keiko says she has some in her stash. I don't know. Keiko, your stash is mighty and vast. And I don't know that Heather could find the tiny peen in your stash.
No, your stash runneth over.
In time to make the end of this stream. So we're just gonna go peen free at this point with our little skeleton.
Gender inclusive skeleton.
Yes, and yes, our skeleton has transcended gender at this point and is now just an artistic creation that is amorphous and asexual. So. I don't know, Corvus. It's possible my mom posted some bullshit about, I don't even know. I really don't. Like, I I have lost track of everything. Like, I don't even know what the hell is going on at this point. I am just, here. You missed the first Corvus. All of the crows and the toads are mad at you right now. Because you missed the first day of the Halloween week. Okay, so now I'm going to make this skeleton some legs. And so he turned out pretty big. I mean, he's a solid 6 inches. So once again, you can always scale this down. Because he would be a really fun earring. So I'm going to make the bottom part of the legs. So this is tibia, fibula, tarsals, metatarsals. All, again, squished into one wire because we're miraculous like that. I will say that I'm pretty proud of myself during this whole tutorial that the only thing that I forgot was tibia. Apparently no one else is proud of me, but I am. Alright, so again, I centered the one loop, but I didn't center the other loop because I like the little like kick outward of the foot. The foot. So Corvus, how are you? Aside from dead from missing the first Halloween tutorial. And we're gonna have a Halloween freeform on Saturday because I accidentally made too many Halloween tutorials because I was tired and working too much, apparently. Okay, and then I'm gonna make the little phalanges and then I'm gonna put this all together. Also, we still don't have a topic for tonight's podcast, so...
You didn't like mine?
Well, you proposed 3.
I did.
Okay, so I was asking people to vote, and nobody's voted yet. Julie proposed real-life hauntings.
Well, that was what I meant by spooky encounters.
Okay, so we have 1 vote for spoopy encounters. We have another vote from Corvus for that. Okay, so spoopy encounters. Got it. It's going to be mostly you. Then. Talking.
I mean, I got some.
Okay.
Fancy.
Well, I got work to do, so you can spoop and I can work, and that sounds good.
Are you going to work on your costume?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I might work on my costume.
Okay. So, alright, so so the phalanges are 3 separate pieces that then get attached onto the finger bones connected to the wrist bone. No, I can't sing. You all know that.
Hand bone?
I mean, technically, neither the hand nor the wrist is a bone. It's a bunch of bones.
It's true.
So
the ear, and it's not even
the finger bones connected to the carpals and metacarpals, and the toe bones connected to the tarsals and metatarsals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that don't work so good.
Not really. Makes it a much longer song.
I do not actually have, because I don't do. I have a very, very overactive imagination, and I can make things appear where they are not in my mind. So I do not do haunted houses. I do not do spooky movies. I do not do ghost stories, or anything like that. I have had very few spooky encounters in my life, for which I am forever grateful. Though I do have a funny, not a spooky encounter, but just a funny story that I will tell during the podcast. But I tend to avoid spooky things like the plague because they are one of the things that I cannot handle. So, in short, Keiko, I don't do haunted houses. Haunted houses. So I got none, but Heather probably has some. Okay, so this is all of the parts that you need to make your very own wire skeleton. Except for the head. Put his head together. So for the head, you're going to need just a couple of inches of wire. So again, this all totals up to a haunted houses. Haunted hose. Okay, well now I want to know about haunted hose and haunted hosses. So, you know. Now I'm excited. But, so all told, this is about 30 inches of wire. Again, you can scale this down. So for the head, I'm going to just make a circle, center it, put my skull bead on there, and then just bend it, trim it, and make a circle that I can hang it from something. Okay, so now let's put this baby together. Oh, you totally could. You could absolutely put like a crystal or something inside the rib cage. I think, so I used 6 inches for this. If you were gonna try and encapsulate something in it, I would use a longer piece of wire. All right, so now we just sequentially open each loop and assemble our skeleton. Oh, you could totally put a heartbeat in there. That would be so cute. So just make sure that you're closing all of your loops tight. Okay, well, Cortez definitely did a good job because for the first time today, I'm cold. So this is the only one I think that's a little tricky because you have to get it around both of these wires here. There we go. And also, sorry, but all of a sudden I'm shivering, so, you know. There is no peen bone. We do not have any peen bones that are readily accessible, so everyone's
You have to provide your own peen
just
bone.
gonna have to use their imagination or provide your own peen bone when you make your own skeleton. So this one goes around both of those. Like I said, that's the only part of the construction that's just a little tricky because you've got to make sure that you get it around all of those wires. And from here on out, it's just opening and closing loops. Keiko is going to use a peen bone in her skeleton. So it's also helpful if you make the pieces beforehand and lay them out, and then you can just kind of chat with your friends and put them together, and you don't have to pay too much attention to what order they go in. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if we end up with an mostly the anatomically correct skeleton or not. I do like to put the little phalange bones on so that the loops are all going the same way. It doesn't matter too much to me which way they're going, whether they're facing the front or the back of the skeleton, but I like to put them on so that they're all consistent. So this is where we're at thus far with our little dude here. You also, as he gets bigger, you can start assembling, arms and then attaching them instead of going from the top down. I think I'm going to do the same thing with the legs. there's an arm. You know, the cool thing, Corvus, is you could do all of the above. One of the Halloween projects that I really wanted to do but did not get around to doing was making little eyeballs out of polymer clay and then putting them in a little glass vial and filling it with resin. I've been wanting to do that one for a couple of years, but have not gotten around to it. Alright, so now we have a dismembered torso. He's got no legs, but he's got arms. Alright, so I'm going to assemble the bottom half of the skeleton and then attach the bottom half to the top half. See, Keiko? You should do it. And there will be bloody eyeball cheesecakes at the party on Tuesday. And
Thank goodness.
Yes, and they will be edible.
I do really like a yummy eyeball.
I mean, who doesn't really?
Wait, me. But I feel like I would eat these. Because you're not going to trick me.
I'm not going to trick you? What would I be tricking you with?
Eyeballs.
Ah. It'll be eyeballs of annoying customers who walk in with 15 repairs and say, it'll just take a minute.
Oh, are you closed? Yeah, that's why the door's locked. I remember back on Thursdays when you used to be open late. It's Wednesday.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm still feeling salty. Maybe it's surprise.
All right. So
I meant to bring my spiced cider so we could have that with bourbon.
So now we have a pelvis with leguses. And now we are going to connect the top and the bottom half of the skeleton. I'm going to connect the pelvis bone to the ribcage bone. I realize that's not actually how that works, but it's how it works in this particular anatomical construction, okay, y'all? Ta-da! I know, so I definitely got some flack last year from, my mother. For being a little too gruesome with the Halloween tutorials, so no dismembered dolls this year. So, this is definitely a very, very statement Halloween piece. I really want to make a little one to be an earring. This one's a little bit big for an earring. So, yay! So there we go. There's our little skeleton guy. And you can adjust the way things are hanging. A little more slope to the shoulders there. There we go. Ta-da! Yay! So happy Spoopy Week, everybody! Okay, so we have a podcast theoretically starting in 1 minute. It's not going to start in 1 minute. It's probably going to start in about 10 minutes. I'm going to go grab my... I love the dismembered hand jewelry, but... Some people thought it was a little much me sawing the hands off of Barbie dolls. Everyone's got their thing. So, All right. So we'll be back with a Spooky Stories podcast. In probably about 10-15 minutes, I'm going to go refill my... Thank you, Corvus. I'm going to go consume a few more... Well, maybe not. My body's starting to say that it's had enough calories. So maybe I'm not going to consume any more calories. But I am going to go grab my costume to work on and prepare some spooky stories, of which I have, once again, barely any, but Heather apparently has quite a few, so it's going to be a fun Spooky Stories podcast. Of course, we invite you to chime in with your own spooky stories as well, and our little friend Vincent here will be along for the ride. I'm going to hang him up here, I think, so he can be our Halloween mascot for a while. So, yes, not the beads. So, all right, we will be back. We'll be back on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream, with our podcast chatting stream in about, 10 minutes or so. I'm going to convince my body that it wants to keep these calories that I've just consumed, and we'll see y'all in a few. Okay, bye!